Welcome back, everybody, to the Houston Texans Madden 21 Rebuild franchise, where today we could once again go a very fitting 8-8. The season will end today, and I'm not expecting us to make the playoffs even if we win. There might be a way with a tiebreaker if everything goes perfectly. But there are so many teams here that could end up with the same record or simply get to 9 wins and not allow us to catch up that I'm not going to go through the full scenario here. I'm sure it would be some big common game thing or maybe conference record. Looking at the tie-breaking procedures that the NFL has, there could just be a weird combination of teams that end up with that record, so it would take forever to go through all the possibilities. But I don't think we're going to the postseason, but we're still watching Week 17 to see a final look at some players, and perhaps we will get to look at players that don't play all the time. But it's just been a weird season. Building off of last year, I felt like we were going to be able to have the big season in the series, and we had a big first half of the year, that's for sure. Starting the season with a 5-2 record, but then dropping 6 games in a row. And there's been some good feedback lately about perhaps what the problems are on this team, and I did make a change with the playbook that started out really well for us, and then over time we got to see maybe too many second down runs for Robert Penn and getting to too many long third downs. So I did want to take a quick look at some of his stats here. So it's not a problem if you're running a lot and you're efficient at it. And when you sort by his best yards per carry, obviously when he's over like 4.5 a carry, we ended up being 4-2 to this point. Now, in these 2 losses, we actually went away from the running game, and maybe you could argue we didn't run enough in those ones. If we sort in the opposite direction here, low yard per carry, there are some more losses here once you're under 4.5 yards, and maybe that should be one of the targets. If you just go by raw yardage, obviously, even in games where he didn't carry a lot, as long as he had good yardage, we were able to win the game. But in the games where the running game didn't do that well, we obviously didn't fare as well and we weren't as efficient. It's something to think about as we look into the future in this series. And one thing here that might just be correlation, not causation, but in games where he doesn't catch the football, we have fared a lot better than games where he has been featured as a receiver, which I find to be really interesting. Might not mean much, but perhaps we can look at just trying to get to better third downs and utilizing all of these wide receivers and options we have to spread the football around to. We have a really good core here that I hope can stick together for a long time, and perhaps we can run it back next year. To me, this is not like a make a bunch of changes type of situation. I think we have to run it back, and no one likes to talk about this because, the game is played with humans and not like dice or something, but we have had some bad luck this year. And one thing that you'll hear about a lot in the offseason are teams that had good or bad luck when it comes to their 500 records and then projecting where they might go in the future. And for us to be so unlucky in a way, just to lose so many close games, says that we're probably due for some positive regression there next year, potentially. Not a guarantee, obviously, but what are the chances we go like 2-6 in these one-score games again? But a big thing for me looking into the future is going to be to eliminate performances like this. An offense that has this much talent shouldn't have 3 games where they score 14 points. And we can't forget too about the effect of just more players continuing to get better over time, and hopefully we don't end up losing very many. So we should take care of some contracts as well before we get to today's game. It's our last time to negotiate before the offseason, and for at least the young players, you'd like to have at least 2 shots to get the contract right. Russ Watson, upgrading to 78 overall, awareness, break tackle, a little speed in there as well. You know, if we're doing any sort of experimenting today, a little bit of tight end for Russ Watson would make some sense to me. And then last episode, of course, there's always weird things happening in this series. Last episode, I benched the wrong player accidentally, benching Kurt Reiner, when I meant to take Dre Tatum off the field. And because he didn't come off the field, I think he had the best game of his rookie season. One of his most impactful. Having 13 tackles against the Colts, he had a sack, a forced fumble. I thought he was really good. I'm glad that he ended up staying in the game. There we go, nice 2 overall jump for Lynn Cox, getting awareness, man coverage, and some tackling. Let's get to some contracts. All right, we're going to start with Stefan Ferris. I do want to get a contract done with him, only 26 years old. And I want to try to make this pretty competitive, but I know I have 2 shots to get it right, and then franchise tag at the worst. This would run it up to about $15 million a year right here. And that's an offer that gets the deal done. So 3 years, $45 million for Stefan Ferris. Next, Robert Penn. I do want to get a deal done with him. And this could end up being a contract that we don't stick with for 4 years, but I think that he is a very important part of the offense, and maybe I just have to do a better job of making sure like he's getting carries and touches at the right times. But we'll offer him a 4-year deal, and Robert Penn signs it. He's been the best running back in the series, and it really hasn't been close. Now for Tre'Davious White, Marquise Brown, and these older players, I'm going to wait to see what regression does first. That's going to be my strategy pretty much all the time. Ooh, Austin Kitchen. That's a tricky one. Because when you're signing these big contracts, all of a sudden, like $3 to $4 million for a depth receiver, those aren't the signings that teams in our situation are ultimately making a lot. So we'll have to see about that. That might be more of an open market, try to get the number down situation. Let's try to sign Jarek Duvall here. You do want some depth, you just don't always want massive contracts there. And I know I'd want to see Chris Carney for at least one more preseason to see if he could duplicate what he did last year. So we get a deal done there. Very interested in having Floyd Sheffield come back potentially. I don't know yet about Doug Tulloch. We haven't seen a ton of him. Terrence Pearson. See, in this situation, Pearson and Kitchen, you're probably only signing one. Probably not going to have both going forward. And then I think we could let the rest go. I want to see how good regresses. And Joe Jackson, well, we might still be able to make it work, but kind of preparing for his role to diminish even further. All right, so in the battle for 8 and 8, we take on the LA Chargers. Don't know much about this team, but Kenneth Murray's a 99, Joey Bosa a 97, Derwin James a 96, Keenan Rudd a 94. There's some pretty good defensive players on this team. Quarterback is Justin Herbert, star dev, 30 years old, 90 overall. Developed pretty well in series. And statistically, pretty good numbers. Running back today is going to be 4th-year player Nick Kinney out of LSU. Good speed, good break tackle with some vision. At receiver, Devin Duvernay, Kurt McLean, Emilio Guerrero. So this is probably one of the lower rated receiving cores in the league then. By the way, Duvernay in real life, somebody I would consider for fantasy coming up. I think that he's got a chance to be the number 2 on the Ravens. I think him and Bateman with Marquise Brown as mostly a deep threat. As hard as we've tried to win in this series, once again, the best we can now do is 8 and 8. Welcome back, everybody. More Texans franchise action. 72 episodes. And can anyone remind me of how many playoff victories we have in the series? This is unbelievable. But let's get into it, everybody. The Chargers open with the football, and they're going to start in the air. Justin Herbert across the middle will start the day with a big gain of 27 yards. Herbert hands off, and there's a big play in the backfield, courtesy of Stephon Ferris. His run defense has always been pretty impressive to me. Now we have him under contract for 3 more years. 3rd down and 14. Herbert gets it away as Ferris applied the pressure, and that's going to be a stop at the 39. Don't know if that would bring on the field goal team. Probably. We're indoors. And this kick is well short as the Texans will take over. Let's see if we can finish the season positively and hurt the Jets' first-round pick. On 1st and 10, Roseman gets it away, but the pressure forced the errant pass intended for George Ingram. Down below, Jacksonville finishes 7 and 9, New England 6 and 10. Play fake for Roseman, sets his feet, dumps it off to Russ Watson, who will be the number 2 tight end and fullback today. Might seem a bit more than usual. 3rd down and 3, pressure on the way as Roseman's flushed, fires downfield and gets rid of the football. Chargers take over, and this run is shut down quickly. Once again, Ferris in the action. Play fake for Herbert, and he's got to get rid of it, and will, throwing away. 3rd down and 9 now for the LA Chargers. We back off the receivers. Perkins in the box, by the way, as the screen is set up. In pursuit, we're going to make the play. Perkins at the 39. 1st and 10 for Houston. And we start on the ground. It's Robert Penn going nowhere. Stuffed immediately. Already in the zone. We just started. What does it take? Penn running left. This must be one of those 2nd down carries you're not a fan of. But Robert Penn bouncing off defenders will get the 1st down. I'll still take a look at it. Obviously, you don't want to run a bunch on like 2nd and 8 or longer. 1st and 10, and back to the air we go. Roseman under a lot of pressure early on and unable to get the football away. Challenge that. I think his knee was down. Oh, wait, why am I telling the game to do it? When I can just... There is nothing to challenge. Are you sure about that? Oh, the challenge is already initiated. Okay. Wait. It says Houston challenges. Why aren't you challenging? There is something to challenge. As a matter of fact, we are attempting to do so. I just picked a play because I'm like, alright, it's going to, You know what? What's the difference between 2nd and 27 and 2nd and 32? I'm going to lay a game and see if I can get this fixed. Still, nothing to challenge. So, I guess I can't do anything about that. I can't even super sim right now. Wow, I really messed the game up. I'm running a play here. First play I'm running of the Texans franchise. It's going to be Robert Penn. He's got an opening here. And that's a gain of 10. Why are we in no huddle? I didn't do that. There, I'm not playing the game anymore. I prefer to watch from the press box. 3rd down and 21. Roseman's drilled and he gets rid of it. It's so interesting to me, though, how just random experimenting here led to me having the most fun I've had playing Madden this way. Not even actually like controlling the players, just being the playing the role of just strategizing with the roster and letting the players control everything. And then I wonder why I never decided to try something like this earlier. I just never thought I would enjoy the game as much like this, or that, like, you watching would enjoy the series as much as you are. So, I love this format. It's my favorite content to make. Underneath, not much there. Good tackle by Jackson. Now, as much as I enjoy this, we are coming up to the next Madden in the near future as Herbert completes the pass. I wanted to talk about this a little bit. Now, they haven't yet officially announced Madden 22 with like a release date, which is super strange. Normally by now we know. I'm guessing this coming week or whenever EA Play is, beginning of June is usually when that stuff happens. And we'll know a release date for sure. But let's say they come out with the game. Hey, it's Bill O'Brien. We just run into this guy all over the place. But say the next Madden comes out late August, like it did in 2020. We're looking at 3 more months of this series. And the first thing that comes to my mind is that enough to fix this team? So yeah, you're talking about how many episodes are put up. I've got to put up a bunch of episodes. I love making these. And on top of that, if we want to achieve anything, I've got to put out a lot. We're episode 72 with no playoff victories. So I expect a lot more of the Texans here over the course of the summer. This is like the Browns rebuild where I began after the NFL season, so I'm dealing with so much less time, like 7 months as opposed to 12 to do a series. Whereas I did a full year basically with the Cards and the Bucks. So there will be a lot of Texans coming your way. Might have to have some 2 episode days or something if we can't start turning this around and gotta make more progress. But Herbert has this offense moving inside the 10. Not bad. Now, I don't know like what to expect for Madden's release date. I'm kind of hoping like mid to late August and not early, because I like more than a couple months to work on this and some of the other stuff I'm doing. But we'll just have to see. Handoff, running left, stopped at the 3. I just appreciate that all of you enjoy this so much. It's obviously like the most popular series I'm doing right now. Although Rockies is off to a pretty good start, but that game's brand new, so hard to say where it'll be in a couple months if it sustains as well as like the Texans has. Another throwaway from Herbert. But yeah, really enjoying the content right now, even if there isn't a lot of winning inside of the series. Come on, offense, give us something to watch. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line against this very talented defense. Roseman got it to Mecklin. That's a gain of 8. Russ Watson moves to fullback on 2nd down. Running left. Robert Penn gets annihilated at the 36-yard line. What's the call on 3rd and 1? Fake. Roseman protected for a little bit. And the pass comes up short. Incomplete. Very slow start. Let's do some simming here in week 17. A punt by Bailey and a 93-yard touchdown. So, if we want to get to 8-8, we have to actually pull off a comeback successfully today. We haven't had too many of those in the series this year. Nice 3rd down conversion there. Have to do it again. We get the conversion with Jones. 5 yards, Daniel Blue. Sacked by Bosa. Punt the football. Can we get a safety? No? Well, here go the Chargers once again. Sacked by Carr. 13 yards. And ultimately punting again. Sacked. 24 to Macklin. Getting something here, but a fumble. And again, not in scoring position. Maybe there won't be a lot to watch from this game. We can't get anything going. We'll take this into the second half, where we still have not scored. We have 3 games this year, 14 points. This could be another one where we don't get much on the board, and the second half's not off to a better start. Chargers driving. And they lose 2 and kick 3. A win here for the Chargers is actually pretty big for them, getting to 9-7, getting themselves into a potential tiebreaker. Whereas we at 8-8 probably won't be too lucky, and we're not anywhere close to competing in this game, actually. I have made a few depth chart changes here. Austin Kitchen's going to get some playing time. Russ Watson's playing starting tight end now and makes the catch on first down. We'll see some of Daniel Blue. We'll see some of Gillislee at running back, and then maybe I'll move Blue to slot receiver at some point. But it just isn't looking good for us. Let's get some reps here with some other players as Macklin hauls it in. Nice catch. Here's Roseman on second down. From the pocket wide open is Russ Watson. That's a 1st and 10. Now a run. Daniel Blue, right side. Hit down at the 39-yard line. Here's Roseman. And now the catch is made by Austin Kitchen, who is in the game right now for Amari Jones. I want a very good look at him with his contract expiring in about a quarter. Daniel Blue. Nice job getting to the 24-yard line. Let's get to the end zone now. I'm tired of seeing this 0 on the scoreboard. Deep ball. Almost intercepted, out of bounds. Looking for a conversion on 3rd down. And Roseman fires. Wide open Watson. Reaching. Fighting in. Touchdown. Mr. 8-8 himself. Houston finally on the scoreboard, looking for a 4th quarter comeback. Well, let's see if we can play some defense. I did make a couple changes here. Jadarius Oliver is in for Marquise Brown. He's the impressive rookie. And then if they get us to our base, we'll see Michael Arnett get a few snaps at right end in the place of Beverly. 1st and 10. We bring 4. Herbert's got time and a wide open receiver in Texans territory. Back to pass again. Why can't we get to Herbert? That's broken up by Tre'Davious White. Come on, we can't get anywhere close to Herbert. Is this offensive line really that good? 3rd down now for the Chargers. We'll bring 4. Pressure off the edge, but wide open. 1st down at the 27-yard line. Sending heavy pressure, and that's going out of bounds. I want to see us blitz Dre Tatum a couple more times after that sack fumble last episode. 3rd and 7, he's dropping back in coverage. It's a screen pass. And coming in to make the stop, Tatum. Showing some burst there. That's his first tackle of the entire day. Chargers set to try field goal now, so if we can find a way to score 2 touchdowns with the time remaining and not allow them to score any, we can win this game. 6:21 to play, and Shadon Roseman starts us in the air on 1st down. He's going to go deep. Is it finally happening? Overthrowing Austin Kitchen. We'll try it again on 2nd down. Caught wide open, Russ Watson. He breaks out the stiff arm, gets to midfield. There's a gain of 25. Russ Watson giving this offense a sudden boost. Here's Roseman. Firing outside. There is Ingram for a gain of 8. That is seriously Ingram's first catch. How is that possible? He's the slot receiver. On a pass-first offense. Intercepted! Jumped it for Kitchen. Miller with the pick. I was enjoying the comeback effort. But the Chargers take over, 5 minutes to go. And here's Justin Herbert. Complete to the outside for 3. Here's Herbert on 3rd and 7. Again, nobody around him as the pass is caught. First down to the 31, Devin Duvernay. It's Kinney up the middle, surging ahead for the first down. Well, everybody, it doesn't look like 8 and 8 is happening today. First and 10 with the Chargers driving. They'll take it inside the 15 now. Under 4 minutes to play. Really, our only hope here is to get a turnover. I'm not even going to say a field goal because that would take too much time. They'd have to run 2 more plays, get to the 2-minute warning. You got to get a takeaway and put points on the board. 3rd down and 1. Herbert set to throw it. Firing outside. What a catch at the 1 with Joe Jackson in coverage. That was Guerrero. On 1st and goal. They're going to run it right into Justin Johnson. Loss of 4. Win or lose here, I want to see one more drive out of the offense. Straight ahead and into the end zone. The Chargers will be moving to 9 and 7. We'll see if that's enough for them to make it to the postseason. They will go for 2. They saw Russ Watson making plays. They want to make sure they go up 3 possessions. Justin Herbert on the outside. Well done. 2-point good. If the bug didn't happen and I could back out right now, I'd put in Dishman, but we'll finish out the 2 minutes here. Rosemond throwing out of bounds. Can you imagine the deep balls Dishman will be throwing right now with all this pressure? That's all he does is soon as somebody loses up front, dumped off here, it's Blue on the catch. He'll get a few. We got to get a couple first downs here. Do I really want to watch the Chargers run the ball? At least entertain us if you're not going to win. 3rd down and 7. Rosemond off the mark. Please go for it. And please get it too. Like, let's get the first down and watch a few more plays. I want to see Russ Watson again. Maybe here. On 4th and 7. Knockback. Incomplete. Throwing it deep. Are you kidding me? With a 3rd and long? Chargers wanted those 3 extra points. It's not like that would cover an over-under or anything. Like, there's no 34-point totals on a weekly basis. Caught there by Macklin. We're getting a few more plays to watch. Let's go. Back to pass on 1st down. Rosemond completes it. And that's going to be Austin Kitchen across the 50. Here's Rosemond on 1st down. 17 seconds to go. A lot of time. And he wanted even more. All right, this could be it right here. Press coverage on the outside. 10 seconds left. Rosemond in trouble. Hit as he throws. Intercepted or caught? Wow, Macklin caught that. And the season's over. The Houston Texans have gone 7 and 9 after our 10 and 6 playoff season a year ago. Well, we got to 300 yards passing, I guess, but that was another terrible game, and now, a quarter of our season, we couldn't break 14 points. There are some things to work on with the offense for next year. And I'll take a look at the playbook, make some changes there, and see if we can run it back with more success next season. What a season. At this point, I am very glad that it is over. The Houston Texans go 7 and 9. And That is probably going to put us somewhere picking around like 13 or something like that. Obviously not us, the Jets, but that's how it goes. Would 8 and 8 have mattered? That is the next thing here in the AFC. And no, the Chargers go 9 and 7. They don't get in. The Bengals don't get in at 8 and 8. So you had to get to 9 wins anyway. Overall, Shadon Roseman was better in year 2 compared to year 1. Interceptions down by 1. Touchdowns increased by a lot of yardage on very similar pass attempts. He was sacked the same amount of times, but higher yards per attempt. Overall, pretty happy with this season from him. Robert Penn, 225 carries for 989 yards. He stayed healthy this season, gave us a very similar year to last. Daniel Blue didn't do a lot as a rookie, and because he wasn't like great with his touches, I wasn't going to force more. To me, running backs are long-term projects, and on a team with as much talent and the expectations that we had, it doesn't make sense to just give a guy like Blue carries. We're trying to go to the playoffs, and he's like the 6th best option. Gillislee didn't play a ton this year, but hopefully he'll continue to develop, and we'll see in the preseason if he looks any better. Receiving, we do end up with 3 1,000-yard receivers, although I thought that Jones and Macklin would end up with more. Ingram, 1,438. That's definitely not enough to lead the league. He definitely got passed by that receiver on the Panthers. 8 touchdowns for Ingram, 8 for Norwood, who was pretty solid once again this year. I was just curious about something, as his production's been one of the most consistent things in this very inconsistent series. But 3 games here over 70 yards. I just wanted to compare it because I thought Russ Watson looked really good today. And obviously we haven't seen him play a lot of receiver, but 571 and 1. And that was on 46 downs played. For the offensive line, Leslie Good and Rashad Walker each gave up 10 sacks. Mekhi Becton, 8. Overall, I thought Becton was fine. Wallace and Teller were fine. Obviously, Walker needs time to develop, and this year he did get better, and he'll continue to a year from now. We'll keep having him as a focus player, not too worried about it. And then for the defense, Dre Tatum actually led us in tackles, which is a bit surprising, but not when you consider the fact that he basically played more than anybody else on defense. He did lead us in snaps. He also had 3 pass deflections, 1.5 sacks. Jabari Carr and Cordell Hillhouse each had 13.5 this year. For Carr, that's down from 18.5 in the previous season. And for Cordell Hillhouse, in his 3rd year playing, let me upgrade him quick. Let's go Speed Rusher. +2. But for Cordell Hillhouse, that's the 2nd most in his career. 8.5 from Stephon Ferris. And he this season played 944 snaps. So it was a full year for him. And wasn't his best season, but still a solid one. The guy that was a lot more quiet this year was Allen Beverly. Now, he only had 5 sacks, a career low for him, and this was on 877 downs played. So it's not like he saw a massive reduction in snaps, just didn't have as much success. For interceptions, Kurt Reiner with 2, Tre'Davious White with 2. I would like to see a few more takeaways. That sure would be nice. A few deflections here, Marquise Brown, Tre'Davious White, Tevin Tyson. Otherwise, not a ton there. A few forced fumbles, leading the way in that category is Stephon Ferris. And 1 defensive touchdown this year was Tevin Tyson on that scoop and score last episode. Want to check out a couple things here. Daniel Cantu's turned around his career. Jake Bailey just had a terrible year. He had a lot of bad punts this year. Perhaps that's something we look at solving in the offseason with him at 32 years old. All right, now, 4 NFL league leaders. Shadon Roseman did pass the ball the second most out of any quarterback this year. So I'm not really thinking it's that we have to pass more. I just think it's like on second and long and some of those second and mediums, maybe pass a bit more than we are and find other places to get extra runs. Most touchdowns, Gardner Minshew, still starting for Jacksonville 10 straight years. And that's actually a lot of touchdowns. He'd have to be by far the all-time leader in touchdown passes with these numbers. That's impressive. For the Jaguars, of course. They're only like 30 years old or whatever. But most interceptions, Tyler Patterson, Gardner Minshew. Saquon Barkley led this pretty much start to finish. No major surprises. Penn just under 1,000. And receiving, Reggie McCray passed up Ingram. It wasn't by much. But I gotta think that this could still be a good chance for him to get to superstar development based on this production. So even though he missed a chance earlier in the season, he could very well get it here once we sim forward. Most interceptions, Lionel Walters, Denzel Ward, and Devion White for the 49ers. And a few players here picking up 4, including Cameron Dantzler. Sack leaders in the AFC, Myles Garrett, 18.5. In the NFC, DeForest Buckner, 18.5. And that right there is basically the season. So we end up this year with a below average scoring offense, 23.3. We should be up here. We'd be a playoff team if we were. 3rd least rushing yards in the NFL with the 4th most passing yards. How about first downs? Yeah, we're not that great in this department. We got to find a way to be more consistent on offense, I think is going to be the key for me. Not getting the 3rd downs and being able to just sustain drives better. Defensively, not as good as we were a season ago. For points, though, above average. For sacks, 56 is good for 3rd in the NFL. Interceptions, 10, a little bit below average. Pass defense, one of the tops in the NFL. Rush defense, one of the bottom. That's not necessarily a problem, though. It is if it's the reason you're losing a lot. It was for a while. But here's what I have to fix. One of the worst 3rd down teams. And I wish it showed here like average distance to gain on 3rd down. That'd be a great stat. But I think that we know it's too much. Red zone efficiency, that's another area that got a lot of attention in the comments here. 30 out of 50, so that's a 60% touchdown rate. I feel like that's pretty good. It's not like elite. In the real NFL, the best this past year was Green Bay. No surprise, because all it was the entire year is Devontae Adams, like 3-yard touchdowns. But the top teams in the NFL will have about 70 to 75. 60 is average. So it's still something we can work on. We have the talent to certainly be above average there at getting touchdowns in the red zone. So I think 2nd down play calling, red zone play calling, we'll work on those. How about turnover differential? It wasn't that bad this year. We didn't have a ton of giveaways or a lot of takeaways. It was just too many punts. That's the last thing I want to check here is just total punts. Jake Bailey had 67. And that's too many. We're supposed to be a good offense. We're punting 3rd most in the league. Gross. And your yearly awards. Cody McDonald, MVP. Dan Quinn, Coach of the Year with the 13-3 Jets. And whoever their GM is should be Executive of the Year for winning the trade, getting our 1st round pick. In the AFC, Lamar Jackson is your offensive player of the year. Miles Burse is the defensive. Very shocked we have nobody in the top 10. Offensive rookie of the year, Lionel Bates from the Cleveland Browns. Defensive, Dre Tatum, who simply played a ton, racked up tackles, and that's usually enough on the defensive side of the football. Best quarterback is Lamar Jackson. They list Rosemond number 5. Running back is Nick Chubb. They don't have Robert Penn in the top 10. Best receiver is George Ingram. No surprise there. Offensive line, Quentin Nelson. Defensive line, Miles Burse. Linebacker is Rashawn Gary. Denzel Ward, best DB. In the NFC, Cody McDonald, more hardware for him. Austin Saunders, rookie of the year. Otis Woodyard. Cody McDonald, Saquon Barkley, Reggie McCray. Those are the rest of the awards. I want to go through the other rookies of the year, though. That's something I should do every year. In the NFC, their rookie of the year on offense was Lionel Bates, who was the backup to Nick Chubb, one of the best running backs. 91 speed, 84 spin, 83 juke, but this season as a rookie, he put up 422 yards on the ground, 129 in the air. I'm surprised that got it done. Lions had rookie of the year, Austin Saunders. So 2 backup running backs that didn't have big years won rookie of the year. Obviously, Dre Tatum won defensive rookie of the year, and we know him. But for the NFC, it was Otis Woodyard, the strong safety. Star Dev, 79 overall, had 83 tackles, 1 interception, 3 deflections. Overall, the rookies of the year were very underwhelming this season. On the road to the Super Bowl, here's how the postseason has unfolded. Number 1 seed Ravens upset in their first game. Number 1 seed Vikings, same thing. Both teams beaten by multiple scores. And the teams that beat them are going to the Super Bowl head-to-head. 6 seed Cleveland, 7 seed Washington football team. How about that? Both teams upset in the wild card, upset the top seed, and now they're going head-to-head for it all. Colts ended up winning 2 games before losing the AFC Championship. The Jets, they won 1 playoff game, but they lost to the Colts. And now they'll enjoy their 2 first-round picks. Here are the Pro Bowl rosters. And Russ Watson made it, along with George Ingram. Tyler Boyd, who had a big game against us. Same with KJ Hamler. Mekhi Becton does make it this year. Randy Wallace, Wyatt Teller. Defensively, you'd expect to see us dominate here, but it's Carr, it's Hillhouse, and then nobody. Jake Bailey. How? He was one of the worst punters. We're on to Super Bowl week now, and we'll see if we have any development changes. I'm calling George Ingram the superstar. And he is! George Ingram got superstar development after all, and that means he'll have a couple abilities. Slot-o-matic? Let's see. I mean, he's a slot receiver, so yeah, he's getting that one. And then probably slot apprentice or something. Yeah, that's probably what we'll roll with. Wait, no. I don't know how this works exactly. I need to make sure he's got slot-o-matic. Grab and go? Oh yeah. Grab and go, slot-o-matic. That's going to be all catch and run, underneath stuff, perfect. And getting that development boost and those abilities is actually kind of a big deal. So that is fantastic. Next year, I think we could see George Ingram put up 1,400 once again. Is there anything to work on? I guess more of those short routes. I mean, he's good, but he's not elite at those routes. That's one thing you gotta kind of get over in Madden. Like at times, we'll have like a player. Oh, wait a minute. Roseman's an X Factor. Wow, it happened. Interesting. So what X Factor ability do we want him to have then? Successful quarterbacks stay cool and stand confidently against the blitz when they enter the zone. All blitzing linebackers and defensive backs are highlighted. See, these abilities are goofy. Just silly things for online play, mostly. I'm thinking Omaha makes the most sense, though, because this would allow him to basically just be super consistent and then be able to dissect the defense. He's got a lot of abilities. Anyway, what I was trying to say earlier is, like, this is a thing for me mostly in sports games, but sometimes I'll have a player who's like in the mid to high 80s or a rating is there, and to me it's like, that's done, because you're not going to try and replace that player or those skills, but there's still a gap between like really good and elite, and too often don't try to get enough elite stuff there for the players or look for elite upgrades when available in the off season. But definitely aware of that now, and I can't wait to see George Ingram a year from now, especially with those abilities. Any other changes though? I don't think so. On defense, here's what we got. 2 superstars, 2 star players. Dre Tatum still star. All looks the same there. Congrats to the Cleveland Browns on their Super Bowl title. MVP going to Myles Garrett. Another year done in the series, everybody. We're through 2028 and we have yet to win a playoff game. Continuing to approach 10 years in the series with no playoff wins. Here's how the Super Bowl went. Cleveland's a solid team, and they overcame 4 touchdowns here from Clayton Kershaw. Not bad. And the Browns didn't really pass the ball well at all. How many yards did Chubb have? 80. But Rookie of the Year Lionel Bates had 67. 3 touchdowns combined. And J.C. Thompson had a really big game for them. And Myles Garrett, MVP with 10 tackles, 4 for a loss, including 2 sacks. All right, the Browns are the team to beat. If they can be rebuilt, why not Houston? Let's check out retirements and wrap this one up. Jalen Ramsey, Wyatt Teller, looking for a new guard suddenly this coming year. Amari Cooper, Jameis Winston, Dalvin Cook. Titans will have a new running back this coming year. Again, Stephon Diggs retires. Kenny Galladay, Zeke, Teddy. But I think only one for us. For regression, Carr only losing 2 points. Jackson 4. Amari Jones just 1. Not a ton here. A little bit of speed down for Robert Penn. David Perkins loses 8. Underwood loses 8. Norwood 17. Is this the year we start to maybe consider that second tight end spot a bit more, and perhaps the right guys on the roster? Maybe Russ Watson plays a bit more next year. 37 here for Tre'Davious White. 9 for Macklin. Oh, I didn't know injury regresses. Okay, clearly is here. But hopefully he's still really good next season. Floyd Sheffield probably didn't lose enough to not be considered as our backup next year. We'll have to re-sign him, obviously. But that is it, everybody. Another season complete with the Houston Texans. What's the coach record in this series? It's got to be terrible. All I got to do is sort by the bottom. I'm surprised we aren't the bottom in this series, but 62 and 82. Honestly thought it would be worse. 1 winning season. That is unbelievable. Well, it's completely believable if you've watched this series start to finish. So that's 9 seasons worth of games. And I think, would I have played 9 or is it 8? I can't remember when I fired Bill O'Brien and how that all started out. But No playoff wins. We're trying to get there next season. We'll see if we can pull it off. Here are the contract demands for the offseason that'll be coming your way very shortly. Our first pick will be 46 overall if we don't make a move. And to the New York Jets, you are welcome. Enjoy pick 14 along with pick 26. That's it for today, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the episode, even though the season was a massive disappointment. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel and leave your thoughts down below as to how the Houston Texans can get this fixed. If it can be fixed. Please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.